Let's see if I can take off this. So before I started really working on the house, I wanted to test for asbestos since the house is from the 1970s. So I got 2 kits off of Amazon and I scraped the popcorn ceiling off in multiple locations in the house and put it in the little envelope. And I also got the attic insulation and tested that as well. And it was about 3 or 4 days later and we got the results in an email, and the popcorn ceiling and the attic insulation was clear of asbestos. So I recommend you doing that before you do any work on your older home, just to make sure that there aren't any asbestos issues in the house and that you don't have to abate it. As we were waiting for the results of the asbestos test, we started to remove all the old nails and screws out of the walls, including the outlet and receptacle covers. So this is just a quick video of the kids doing that. And I wanted to show you how they painted over the receptacle outlets and how difficult they were to get off. So then I moved on to removing the trim around the sliding door. And during this process, I found out that there was termite damage on the right side under the trim, and the door sill had some termite damage as well. So just to remove trim, all you need is a crowbar, a little one, and a hammer. And so you just wiggle the crowbar under the trim and you kind of slowly work it off from the top to the bottom so that you don't dent the wall, and you slowly release the nails so that it can come off in one piece, the pieces doesn't break, and you don't damage the wall. While this doesn't happen every single time, most of the time you can go slow with it and wiggle that trim off the wall. This trim was screwed in places, and since it didn't fully close, as you can see on the left, there was a locking mechanism for the door, so that pretty much made the trim unusable for the future. This is when I identified the termite, and I was like, oh crap, what is the extent of the damage of these termites? Which is why I'm hammering the wall to figure out where the soft spot starts and where it ends. I had a little internal panic attack when I saw the termite damage. Termites. Old termites. This thing of joint compound, heavy. I might use it as my ladder because my ladder's right there. Here's where I find more termite damage. And internally, I'm like, oh no, is this gonna be bad? I realized when I was using the crowbar or the hammer, I can't tell which one I'm using here, that the paneling was soft. So I knew that there was some additional damage here. even with the screws in, I was able to get both sides off without breaking the trim. So it works. Just go slow and wiggle that crowbar. I'm about to get excited with how easy the top trim comes off. Oh yeah. So the stink inside by the termite damage did not want to come off. So that was frustrating. So overall, did it come off easy? No. It definitely fooled me, but I was able to get all three sides off without breaking the trim. But I hit the light there. Boom.
Did it! Did it! Okay, that was a little extreme. I took it down. How exciting.
Now I'm just going through and looking at the termite damage and removing any extra nails that need to come off. The termite stuff was like an itch I shouldn't scratch. I just kind of kept wanting to get in there and see how bad it was. And so that's kind of why I'm lingering. I'm like, okay, I don't want to ruin the paneling by digging too much, but I also want to make sure I know like the extent of it. So I moved on to the trim in front of the door. So you just use your crowbar or your hammer and you do the same thing. You get it underneath it and you slowly pop it up all the way across at each of the spots where the nails are, just to pop that trim up.
Well, good news, I'll show you, is that we have some wiggle room and we have a full 2x4 over here and up there. I'm gonna have to replace this. I don't really know how deep it goes. So that's fun, but it's not horrible. Once we get the door out, I'll be able to tell. I really don't want to pick at the paneling because we're keeping the paneling. Well, I'm going to take down this. So I'll have some extra paneling I can use to patch that up if I need to dig it out more, but okay.